Hey. You might be wondering, Robbie, where the hell have you been? Valid question. Incredibly valid question. And if you're like, I don't really care where you've been, you should probably stick around because I feel like this video will resonate with a lot of people. And if you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, she's lost her mind. She has a pimple patch on. She's got a flower in her hair. No, I'm just happy. I'm just feeling free and happy and excited about life, and I'm allowing all of me to shine, and that is the theme of this video. So I have a very strong pattern, as I'm sure a lot of you do, of diving really deep into one aspect of my life and nearly entirely disregarding everything else that makes me me. And I'll dive super deep into this one area, for example, spirituality or intense discipline or working out or eating healthy, and everything else in my life that is still a part of me is entirely disregarded and just tossed off to the side. Now, there are times in life when this is absolutely necessary. There are chapters of your life where you will have to go into periods of deep, intense focus on one little aspect of your life. Maybe you need to get yourself back on track. Maybe you're trying to adopt a new routine. Maybe you're trying to adopt a new lifestyle. Maybe you're trying to incorporate something into your life that was not there previously. You have to have that intense, deep focus on that one thing for a period of time. And this has been a theme of our school community calls for the past couple months, just balance. And I even alluded to balance in the last video I made, which was in October. Sorry. But it was on balancing the light feminine energies and the dark feminine energies. And the constant battle that we all face is striking a balance between the different aspects of what make us, our different traits, everything that makes us uniquely special and individualistic, and us, everything that makes Robbie Robbie. I can't speak for anybody else in this moment, and maybe this is an entirely unique experience, although I'm sure that this will resonate with at least one of you. I don't think it's a unique experience. I tend to dive really deep into personal development and intense discipline and spirituality, and while I'm so grateful that I dive deep into those things versus diving deep into drugs, and I don't regret it whatsoever, and it's incredibly helpful for me, it's usually a life that I create for myself directly after a breakup, directly after I go through some immense amount of pain. And again, I'd rather be doing all of this than doing drugs, but it tends to not be the most sustainable way of doing things. When you throw all of yourself into one thing, there may come a point, and there probably will come a point, where you face a little bit of burnout. And even if it's the best thing in the world, like personal development and like self-care and like spirituality, like working out, like eating healthy, like building discipline, even if it's the best thing in the world, there will come a time when you face burnout. And there will come a time, whether it's a pivotal moment or it's just a buildup of moments, where you realize that there are so many other aspects of what makes you you. There are so many other aspects of what makes Robbie Robbie. When the only thing that you honor is that little teeny tiny sliver of what makes you you, it's very possible that you start to lose the rest of what makes you you and start to question why you're doing what you're doing, to what end. What about the rest of you? Is the rest of you inherently bad because this one thing is what you're focusing on right now and everything else is just tossed to the side, in the trash, we don't care about it anymore, those things? Bad. They don't make me who I am. I'm this now. Whoa. I'm not judging. I do this. I'm making this video because this is something that I do. I don't make videos that are outside of my own experiences because I don't believe that I have a place to talk on those experiences. These are my experiences. It's all love. There's no judgment. You know the vibes. Especially now, I've made an intention to lead with even more love. So now there's even more love. And I know that you can feel it. It's a funny thing to try to strike that balance because, like I said, there are chapters of your life where you have to honor certain slivers. Maybe you have to deeply focus on spirituality for 6 months, a year, whatever, to get back on track, to get to where you want to be. Maybe you need to deeply focus on finances, on business for 6 months, for a year, to get back on track. All of those other things, yes, they take a back seat, but you're not sitting there being like, I'm a businesswoman now. I'm shunning this side of myself. No, you need to be self-aware and recognize that this is just a chapter of your life and you just need to get this shit in order and you're still this. And this is still beautiful and this is still fine and this is still what makes you you. There are no parts of you that are good or bad. And if you think that this thing doesn't necessarily go with this thing, maybe they don't really go together, but those are still things that make you you and that make you uniquely beautiful. And it's so important to practice some kind of radical self-acceptance in realizing that, hey, I can be this and I can also be this. And I could be this. And I could, you know what? If I wanted to, I could also be this. I could be anything because I am uniquely myself. And if there are some kind of external opinions on it, who gives a shit? Because what do these people know about you? Nothing, or maybe this much. All they've seen of you is this much. You are the only one who knows yourself. Never, ever, 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 ever forget that. All of that being said, over the past couple months, I've been missing in action because, like I said, after my breakup, usually happens, I dove super deep into personal development, spirituality, intense discipline. It was beautiful. It was exactly what I needed in that chapter of my life. I'm so happy that I did it. Just because I'm ready to move on and start honoring the rest of me doesn't mean that I regret that chapter whatsoever. I think that regret is the most pointless thing in the world because you can never go back and change it. I honor every single chapter because every single chapter is leading me to exactly where I am today. But I dove so deep into it that it became my personality. That was just who I was. I was a personal development girl. And that's great. And that's beautiful. And I love that. And I love that people see me and they're like, wow, you're just like so happy all the time and your energy is so good. Amazing. I put that work in. Yes, that is an aspect of me. Thank you so much. That's this sliver here. And I'm honoring this sliver here. And I'm also honoring this sliver here and this sliver here because I can honor all of these slivers together. They do not have to be mutually exclusive. I got burnt out of just doing the personal development thing. I missed the rest of who I was, who I am. And I also had some very young people, like 19, joining my school community, which everybody is welcome to join the school community. Everyone is welcome there. But the 19-year-olds, a lot of them had in their bio that they wanted to get their life on track, that they felt behind, that they felt like what they were doing was wrong, whatever, things of that nature. And when I saw that, I was like, well, damn, like, you're 19. You're only 19. I'm 28. I don't... Maybe I'm ahead of you, which is all subjective because everybody's life is entirely different. But I didn't have my life together at 19, and I wouldn't have wanted to have my life together at 19. And I don't ever want you guys to watch my videos, and I don't want to live my life this way either, and just be like, oh, she's personal development. This is her, personal development, and that's how I should be, personal development. No, there are pieces of pie. Pizza, like pizza pie. I don't know. I like pie. I like sweet treats. I'm going to say pie. It's pieces of pie, okay? This is you. That's wrong. You know how pie goes. This is you. All of this is you. Every single piece of pie is you. I think that it's important that, yes, if you want to get your life on track, if you want to start diving deep into personal development, beautiful. Dive deep into personal development and take that as a chapter of your life, but never, ever disregard the other aspects of you and shun them as bad or say that you're behind or you're not doing enough or whatever it is. Like, at the end of the day, life is so short and it's so important to honor every single aspect of what makes you you. And especially at 19, you have to make mistakes and you have to experiment and you have to do crazy things in order to see what you like and what you don't like. I really don't want a 19-year-old to just sit around journaling and meditating all day. If that's what you want to do, I think that's beautiful. If that's what you want to do as a 28-year-old, if that's what you want to do as a 40-year-old, I think that that's beautiful. But I do think that it's so important to strike a healthy balance and to find that healthy, happy medium between maybe it's spirituality and personal development, and maybe you like to party. I don't know. Find that happy medium. They do not have to be mutually exclusive. This is what makes you you. Like I've said so many times before, I never want you guys to think that I'm holier than thou, which is why I felt so called to make this video and so called to take that break and actually dive deep into me instead of just continually pushing myself to put out content and it possibly not being authentic or it just being something that I feel like I'm forcing myself to make. Like, no, I want all this to come from my heart and I want all this to come from my experiences, and that's what my content's always been about. I've always been about sharing exactly what I'm going through and hoping that it resonates with somebody else, because I do think that we're all going through similar things. Like, we're all doing life for the first time. None of us have any idea what's going on, you know? If you have any idea what's going on, please let me know. Let us know in the comments. Finding that balance is not easy, and it's especially not easy for those of you that are like me and do not like to go off of a schedule and don't like to organize things and just kind of like to go with the flow and hope for the best. Sometimes that doesn't always work. Like I said in the beginning of this video, finding that balance has been such a theme in the past couple months of my life and in the past couple months of your guys' life, honestly. And I really want to put my effort into allowing every single part of me to shine. I don't want to shun this or that. I don't want to label this as bad, this is good. I want to find that balance, and I want to allow me to be me. And if anybody doesn't like that I'm embracing all of these parts of me, that's their prerogative, and that is none of my business. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I get affected by other people's opinions, but I'm going to do my best to not allow them to affect me being as authentically me as I possibly can be. I'm almost positive that this experience is not uniquely mine. I actually know for a fact that some of you are also going through the same thing. So I just want to let you know that we're all trying to find that balance. We're all just trying to do our best. I think that just remembering that this thing and this thing do not have to be mutually exclusive. They can go together. And if people's perception is that they can't go together, if people's perception is that you can't focus on 3 things at the same time, that you can't focus on 5 things at the same time, like I said, sometimes you're going to go through chapters where you have to focus on one thing at a time. But after you've deeply focused on that one thing and built up all that you've wanted to build up with that one thing, it's important to reincorporate all of the other things into your life, because they're still you, you're still you. Also, on top of all of that that's been happening, life has been very hectic. I have had a lot going on. Beautiful, grateful, blessed, always. And I'm also moving. So I just found an apartment 2 days ago, yesterday, which is exciting because apartment hunting is so freaking stressful, especially down here in South Florida. Like, the prices are insane. I literally toured an apartment community. I wanted this one specific apartment because I like certain lighting. I'm a little bit bougie like that, and I'm very grateful that I'm able to pick and choose what I want. Anyways, toured it. I go to sit down. I'm like, yes, thank you so much. I really like this one. This was like the 10th property that I toured, so I was just like, God, jeez, please. Sit down. I'm like, yeah, this is good. Let me apply. And he goes on the website, and he's like, that one's gone. And I was like, well, that's weird because I literally was just looking at it before we went on the tour. And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, it's this number. And he was like, no, it's gone. And I was like, oh my gosh. So within like 15 minutes, somebody had applied for it. It's brutal down here. Anyways, all that is over. That's in the past. I found an apartment. So I'm moving out of here. I don't have any furniture whatsoever. All of this is like the seasonal rental furniture. So I have to get furniture. So part of me kind of, like, if you're still here, you love me and I love you. So I'm going to tell you. Part of me kind of wants to do like a little like interior design thing. Not a whole channel, just a couple videos. It's very different from what I normally do. But it's cute. So if you'd be into that, you let me know. If you're still here, wow, I really love you. You're a rider. But that's what's been happening with me. And I'm really excited to be back and to strike that balance, or work on striking that balance, because I know that I'm not going to be immediately incredible at it, but I'm doing my best. I'm working on it, and I have an exciting video coming next week at some point. I don't know when, but we're going to figure it out. So I love you guys to absolute pieces. You know the drill. Subscribe, comment, like. Yes. Links are down below. Everything that I offer is down below. Love you to pieces. And I will talk to you very, very soon.